Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. I'm Tess and I post a bunch of different content here on YouTube, and I figured I turned 30 today, which is why we have a special Saturday upload and not Sunday like normal. It is my 30th birthday, so I figured I'd been back and forth as to what kind of video I wanted to do for my 30th birthday, and I figured why not do a 30 favorite books video. I thought about doing like a cliche like 30 things I learned in 30 years, or even like a 30 favorite things video, or just like advice type stuff, whatever. But I really thought of this, you know, I've been doing a lot of book videos and I just thought it would be fun to share my 30 favorite books. So I literally have like, I'll have to get a picture of what this looks like right now because it's just a hot mess. Like this is a total hot mess right now that on my desk, which is normally an actual mess. Like my desk looks atrocious. To me it's an organized mess. I know where everything is, but to anyone else it's just like you're a mess. Like I'm a hot mess. I know. Okay. Life has been messy. The last couple weeks have not been very good, so mentally I'm a little bit off the rails, but it's okay, I think. Yeah, I literally have a lot of books on here. I'm gonna post a picture of this on Instagram because this is a lot. But anyway, guys, let's get into these books. There's a lot. There's a lot of books in here. I didn't realize how much 30 books was gonna look like until I decided to just pile them all on my desk. Somehow the little keyboard drawer thingamajig is strong enough for all of this, so glad it is, because it's a lot. But anyway, these are just like my all-time favorite books. So these are like ones that I read as a kid up to ones that I finished literally a couple months ago. So these are just books that I have read over the years since I think I learned to read in like kindergarten or something, like preschool or kindergarten or something. So it's a long stretch. It's like a 25-year stretch of favorite books. And this probably isn't all of them because I know that there's a lot of books that I've read that I don't know the title of, especially when I was a kid, like learning how to read and stuff like that. I know that there was a bunch of characters that I loved as a kid, but I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot of the names. And that's just because this is literally like 2000. This is literally like 25 years ago, so it's fine, it's fine. But the first one is probably the one I'm most excited about. I was sad because I don't have a first edition cover of this book, so I have a second, and you'll have to excuse the sticker because the sticker did not come off very easily off camera, but it's fine. I bought it. I've been trying to build the collection up secondhand, and sometimes stickers happen. But the first book is Meet Samantha by Valerie Tripp. This is the Samantha series from American Girl, and if you guys did not know, Samantha is my ride or die character. Like if I could live with like any single American Girl character or just talk to them, like have a conversation with them, it would just 1,000,000,000% always be Samantha. And actually guys, also to go with my Meet Samantha book, she's not in her meet outfit because honestly I really like this dress on her, but I actually do have an actual Samantha doll and I love her. She's so sweet. And what's funny is that I was born in 1994 and she is actually a Pleasant Company edition doll from 1995. So she's a little bit chunkier than some of my newer girls. But yes, this is actually one of the dresses I got secondhand. So, and also canonically, I think that's how you say the word. I don't know. But she was actually born in 1895 because her stories take place in 1904 when she's 9 years old. And her birthday is also May 26th. So her birthday is the day after mine. So I thought that was really cool. And she's always been my favorite character. I love her storyline. I don't currently have a Nellie because I just haven't had a chance to get one. I haven't found the right Nellie yet, but I really do want to add her to my collection because up here are all American Girl dolls. I have a couple of them that I don't know where they're at, actually, to be honest with you. I have to find them, but I have like 5 more. I literally have like 20. Most of them, all but I want to say like 5 I bought secondhand, including my beautiful Samantha. And what's interesting is that when you get older dolls from the 90s and even early 2000s, their bodies are a little bit chunkier than some of the newer ones. So I actually bought one of the newer Be Forever dresses, which I'll put a picture of it right over here. It's called like the ice cream dress outfit, I think, or something like that. But it's super cute. It's a really cute lavender dress. But she has always been my favorite, so obviously she has to be my number one because she's just my number one. She's my number one. I have all of her book outfits too. Like I have her meet outfit, her school outfit, Christmas, birthday, summer, and then I do have a couple things for winter. I don't have her winter coat or anything, but I do want to get a couple of the outfits that came out during the movie time. I believe I do have the purple coat that came out when her movie came out in 2004. I also have Felicity. So Felicity is also one of my favorite characters. Her stories take place in 1776, and these are American Revolution inspired stories. And it's really interesting because in the story, like in the first edition book, like the ones like these, just the nostalgia that I get from holding this book is just so sweet. And also, the Samantha movie is where Anna Sophia Robb got her acting start, I want to say. And the Felicity movie is where Shailene Woodley got hers. So thank you, American Girl, for those two wonderful actresses. Especially, I love Shailene Woodley. Loved her in Divergent too. But I just feel like everybody almost forgets that she was in the Felicity movie. It's called Felicity and American Girl Adventure. And I think everybody forgets that she was in this movie in 2005. And back here, I'm not going to get them right now, but I just wanted to talk about my Samantha doll because she is just nostalgic to me. But I do own a Felicity doll. Unfortunately, her hair is cut, and she's just like, I only really put her in actual Felicity outfits because like I tried like maybe I want to modernize her because her hair is a lot shorter, but I like her in historical outfits. I do have a custom Elizabeth. I just need to send her out to get her wig attached and eyes because I have her just like kind of chilling with a pair of sunglasses on so she doesn't freak anybody out. But I do have a custom Elizabeth doll that I'm working on, and I do own a Felicity as well. Both were bought secondhand. And then the third is Meet Kirsten, which Kirsten is also one of my top 3 favorite American girls. I believe that she was actually the first one I read when I was in like kindergarten. Like I read this a long time ago, like almost 25 years ago, which is really crazy to say because I feel really old saying that right now. That I've been an American Girl since the 90s. I mean, late 90s, but still. I just love Kirsten. I always have. Her stories were just so sweet and so wonderful. And her story is in 1854. It really take place in Minnesota. She and her family immigrated from Sweden and are basically like pioneers. Just look at the kittens. Look at the kittens. They're so cute. This story's adorable. I wish that they had made a movie of hers though. Like, I feel like Kirsten would have had a phenomenal movie. I really wish, like, of all the characters that did not get movies from American Girl, why didn't Kirsten get one? Why did my girl Kirsten not get one? Because she's one of the original 3, and she did not get a movie. Why did my girl not get a movie? American Girl, please answer me. Why did my girl Kirsten not get her own movie? Why did we not ever get a singing bird doll? Why did we not get it? Why did we not get this? This would have been an amazing movie, actually. It would have been phenomenal. I love Kirsten's story so much. And that's it for, like, those are my top 3 American Girl characters. I also, like, honorable mentions were probably the other 3 I grew up with. So it'll be Molly, Josefina, and Addie. Because those are the 6 I grew up with. Because up until 2004, I did not know that they had multiple characters. Like, I did not know Kit or Kaya existed until 2004. So I grew up thinking, okay, it's, you know, Samantha at the turn of the century, Felicity with the Revolution, Kirsten like the Pioneer era, and then you had Josefina, who was a 1820s New Mexico. You had Molly, who was World War II, and Addie was the Civil War. Some other books that I loved as a kid were the Animal Arc books. I have a few of these. I don't even remember how many of these I've read. I've read so many of these books as a child. I love them. These are by Ben M. Baglio, and it's basically about a girl whose parents owned a vet clinic, and they have to help rescue animals and stuff like that. And this one is just like a random one I grabbed on my shelf. I have about like 6 or 7 of them. So this one is Stallion and Spooky Hollow. But I'll be honest with you, these read like a crime show, so not every, like, you don't have to read the books in order, because I definitely have not. I've read most of them. I don't know which ones. I never really logged them in Goodreads. But I loved this series as a kid. I loved, like, animal books when I was a child. And also leads me to the McGraw series by Bob Balaban. I just love this series. I love McGraw. He's so cute. I mean, look at the dog. Look at the dog. He's so cute. He's adorable. But this is about a dog with bionic superpowers. So it's basically, the first book says, when Thomas Wiggins meets sweet and shaggy McGraw, he is sure he found the pet of his dreams. After a freak accident and creepy encounter with veterinarian Dr. Binder, which is a mouthful, McGraw has changed forever, and suddenly he is a bionic super dog with amazing powers of sight, smell, and strength. Only problem is his powers sometimes get him into sticky situations. And it's just, this series is so cute. This has 6 books in it, and I think the last one actually talks about his puppies, so they're really cute. These are just adorable books. I love them. I loved McGraw as a kid. He's one of my favorite characters. And then the last one from my childhood I want to mention is the Phantom Stallion series. So this poor copy of this book is over 20 years old, for one. And two, I think it was in like 2004. Oh yeah, these pages are rough looking. I actually left this outside and dew got all over it, so my pages look really, like, she's seen much better days, but I still love this story. I've only actually read the first 3 books in this series because it's all I had. I was only given Phantom Stallion, which is the first one, Mustang Moon, which is the second, and Dark Sunshine, which is the third. I've since acquired a couple more, so I might do a reading vlog where I read all of these. There's literally like 20 something of them, but they're fairly short, I want to say. They're like 200, 300 pages a piece, and they're all like pretty decent font size. Because the synopsis of the first one is, it's been 2 years since Sam's horse Blackie threw her in a near fatal accident. She's been separated from her family, her ranch, and the wild Mustang she loves. Now she's home again, but her beloved horse has been missing since that fateful day. Then one night, a Mustang comes to Sam. Is it Blackie, grown up and gone wild, or is it the legendary stallion known as the Phantom? Or is it both? So it's a very interesting series. I loved it as a kid. I think I would probably feel the same way because I went through a phase in like late elementary into middle school where all I wanted to read were horse books. Like literally, like that's all I wanted to read. So this is definitely part of what led to that as a kid. And then going to ones that I've read kind of more recently, like in the last like 15 years or so, I want to say, not like 25, but 15. We have Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Again, I think I spelled like water or something on this one because like my pages are kind of messed up. Yeah, the pages of the first one I kind of messed up. I think I spelled water on it unintentionally like a while ago, but I've also had this copy for like 13 years, so a lot of my books are a little bit older. I've had my books for a while, and for the most part I do take care of them. It's just some of them just get water spots on them, and it's fine. Everything's fine. It's still readable. Okay, the pages, the print is not smeared, so I think we're good. But I love the Hunger Games. I love this series. This is my all-time favorite dystopian series. And I just love Katniss and Peeta and just the whole story. Mockingjay was just a little interesting. And to be honest, this is one of my favorite movie adaptations that I've ever actually seen. I love how Josh Hutcherson and Liam Hemsworth, Jennifer Lawrence actually brought the characters to life so realistically that I loved it. I love the Hunger Games. Maybe really love Jennifer Lawrence as an actress as well. And I was already a fan of Josh Hutcherson from just previous works. Bridge to Terabithia, okay, sobbing. I read the book like twice and I sobbed both times. And I've seen the movie multiple times with Anna Sophia Robb and still bawled. Classic. It's a YA instant classic. But also another, in my opinion, YA instant classic is Divergent by Veronica Roth. I absolutely just like, I love this series, not as much as I do Hunger Games, but I think I love the first 2.5 books of this. I hated the last half of Allegiant. It's really the last quarter of Allegiant I despised. I just hated how the series ended, but I still want to put it in my favorites list because I do really love the series. And between these 2 books really kind of got me into the sci-fi dystopian genre, and I have a lot to go to this book, but also just like the ending of the series. I'm just not very well. I'm not doing well with the ending of the series. Just, it could have ended in a much, much better way, but instead it didn't. So that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We all can have nice, fun endings. It's okay. So for fantasies, I have a bunch of them. I have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This series is just so cute. I'm very tempted to buy the special editions from Acrylic? But this cover is just super cute without the dust jacket. I love it. I loved it. I love Iris and Roman. At first, I was a little bit leery, so I'm just like, okay, you know, sometimes book talk books get it, sometimes it doesn't. This is one that I wholeheartedly will recommend if you want to have your heart ripped out. Which, this is just so cute. I just love it so much. I love Iris and Roman and their story, and just the whole, like, rivals to lovers thing is also really fun. Because while this doesn't have as much fantasy as other fantasies do, this is still just a fantastic, fantastic novel. Like, this is such a beautiful story, and just the magic element in this is so unique and well done, and I've not read anything really similar to this. So I think this, to me, this is a fairly unique concept of the typewriters and the journalists and stuff, because it's not really a career you necessarily see in fantasies. Like, of course you see war, you see gods, like you see, you know, just a lot of different things, like you see battles, but you don't see it really through the eyes of journalists. So that's what really just led me to really loving this series. I wish that Barnes & Noble had a special edition of Divine Rivals, because I own both the regular and Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Ruthless Vows. Why do we not have an exclusive edition of this one? I want to know. Inquiring minds, aka me, want to know. And one is pretty obvious. If you know me, you know that I'm a Hufflepuff. And, you know, I can't go through this without talking about Harry Potter. Now, do I like the author? No. No. But, do I love the book? Absolutely. Absolutely. I love Harry Potter. I grew up reading Harry Potter. This is actually the copy that my grandparents gave me and my brother when we were kids. So this is like my childhood copy of Harry Potter. And it's like extra sentimental because it's like one of my favorite series of all time. I love the books, I love the movies, I love the world and everything. But I feel like this series is also a little bit more nostalgic for me, because when the books first came out in the States in paperback, my grandma and my granddad would buy them for my brother and I for Christmas. So the first 6 books are like my childhood copies, and I don't know if we ever got the 7th, so I ended up just buying that one. But I just love Harry Potter. And like you can tell, like, this is an OG cover because the spine, you can see that like the spine is red and blue. You can't really see it because my camera doesn't want to properly focus, but the spine is red and blue, which a lot of the newer ones I think are like purple or something, so they're only one color, and this one's got 2. But this is, I love Harry Potter. Let me know what your guys' house is. If you're sorted, let me know what house your guys are in, because inquiring minds need to know. And also, if you know your Overmorning house, let me know that too. I'm a Thunderbird. And my Patronus is a Nebulon cat, which I think is which I'm in a cat group called This Cat is Nebby, and it's about Nebulon cats, and they're just so cute. They're so cute. They're so fluffy. Next one is Fourth Wing. I feel like a lot of these books that I'm including are books I've read in the last like year to like 1 to 3 years. This one I honestly read twice. I read Fourth Wing twice, and I honestly loved it both times. So my dumb self, I annotated my pretty special edition instead of my plain one. So I think what I'm gonna do is just have the pretty editions be the annotated ones, and then my plain ones just be regular. So, I mean, I have a lot of tabs in this. Like, you can see, like, there's a lot of tabs in this book right now. And I feel like I have almost as much in Iron Flame as well. But just, like, this book was just amazing. I personally loved it. I know a lot of people love Fourth Wing. A lot of people hate it. I get that. That's how the world works. But I'm one of those that loved this book. I I think I like Violet more in the first one, but I like Xaden more in the second. And just the plot twist, the fact that I had to sit on the cliffhanger on the last page for 4 months or 3 months or however many months, like 3 or 4 months. I'm not okay with that. I was not okay with like literally the last sentence. I was not ready for the last paragraph of this book. I was not. I also killed a highlighter highlighting this book because of all the tabs. I highlighted a lot of it, and my red highlighter does not work anymore because of it, so I have to order a new one before Onyx Storm comes out, so that's fun. But I just adore this book. I adored it. The spice. I will say, the throne scene. I would love to see that recreated. In Iron Flame. I would love to see the throne scene recreated, because let me tell you, it's something. The next one is The Phoenix King by Aparna Verma, and this is also another book that I have read twice. I read it for the first time last August because I actually got an arc of this from BookNet Fest 2023. I met Aparna. She's an absolute sweetheart. I love her to death. She's so sweet. And I picked up a finished copy at Barnes & Noble, and I have annotated the crap out of this one as well. We are actually doing a buddy read, which is why there's tabs at the top. We did a buddy read of this through the month of February, and also learned that my book is actually a misprint, which was interesting. So my book goes from page 152 to 121, and like it just literally repeats pages 121 to 152. And I just found that really interesting. So like I have it noted in here, and then also like some of my pages were messed up at the bottom, so I had to tape those. So when you close the book, it doesn't look completely flat because of the tape. This one you have like 3 POVs in this one. You have Leo the king, you have Alina, the princess, and then you have Yasin, who was a former assassin, which I just love the alliteration of his name. Yasin the assassin. It just flows. Aparna knew what she was doing. I'm in her Discord, which I just think she's an absolute sweetheart, and this book was just so beautiful. There's a lot of fire in here, and there's no spice actually. It's pretty much a fade to black spice scene. It's which is good because like you don't need to have smut in a book in order for it to be good. And I feel like Aparna wrote just a beautiful love story of like strangers to lovers without needing any spice in it, because like this still felt very real, like very realistic, but like you don't always have to have smut. The smut is nice, I will not disagree, but sometimes you just want to read something without spice in it. And if you don't like spice, read this book. Go find it, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, wherever you can find it. This book is beautiful. The second one comes out next year, so I don't know, I might reread this again because I just loved this story so much. I loved it so much. Alrighty, battery change. But the next book that I want to discuss is I'm in Love with Mothman by Paige Lavoie. This is the first in I think a trilogy. I've only read this one though. I have not read I'm Engaged to Mothman. That one came out a few months ago. I might just see if that's a BookNet Fest this year. Actually, I think Paige is going to be at BookNet Fest, actually. But this one, I didn't know I need cryptid smut in my life until I read this book. And now, I want all the cryptid smut. And this is about a burnt out influencer named Heather. And she moves to this little town in, I believe, West Virginia. And meets Mothman, or Moth as she calls him, and ends up unintentionally falling in love with him. And there's spice. Pretty good spice though. I would say that this is on the cozier side of fantasy. Like this isn't super high fantasy because it definitely takes place like in the real world, but this is definitely a cozier vibe than say like Fourth Wing. Like this definitely has a cozier vibe. And let me tell you, the smut in here, the spice that she puts in this book, I am so excited for I'm Engaged to Mothman because I need to know what happens. Like, I was left on a cliffhanger for this one, and I need to know what happens in the second one. And also, she's writing a third book called I think it's called I'm Married to Mothman. And then the next one is Also on the cozier side, and this is Artura's Quest by Tag Remedy. And I met Tag at BookNet Fest 2023. They're absolutely just so nice, super, super sweet as well. And this one is actually a gender-bent King Arthur inspired story. And this one is just, I don't want to describe too much of it because I don't want to spoil it. But this book was just so good because it almost has like a parallel universe kind of thing going on, which is really fun. This one was just adorable. And basically, Artura loves Renaissance fairs and anything of the sort. And my life was one of love. Ren fairs, training with my over-the-top dad, fairy tales from my mom, and adventures with my older brother were my constants. No one understood us, but after years, I didn't mind. It was my life and it was a good one. Until I had to go for coffee and a treat, I had to leave my house. I was thrown into a new world where all the fairy tales my mom had told me were real. Those sessions with my dad did make a lot more sense now. This was my destiny and my future. At the center of all were green eyes and a bond that would rock my soul, and they didn't know what was coming. And just like, I just loved this book. This was very cozy, just so well written as well. And also, what's nice is that this is definitely more like an adult fantasy, and the text is actually like decently sized as well, which is super, super nice. I believe I think they got this self-published. I'm not 100% sure, but I love this book. It's so good, you guys. If you love King Arthur, anything with like different like I don't want to say like parallel universes, but it kind of is, I guess, like portals and stuff like that, then pick up this book because it was just incredible. So good. And then we have another cozy fantasy in here. We have Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and this one, obviously, I just adore this. I adore this book. This gives off very, very, very strong D&D vibes. Like, the D&D vibes of this book are just immaculate. And I'm here for it because I love D&D. I'm definitely not as knowledgeable as I want to be in D&D, but I do enjoy watching it, like, on Twitch, and I do enjoy playing it from time to time. But this one just is absolutely wonderful, and I believe also the author, Travis Baldree, I've mentioned this in a couple other vlogs because I've mentioned this book in like 2 different other videos. I've literally mentioned this book like in 3 different videos now, and you'll be seeing them in the next couple of weeks as well. I'm trying to backlog all my videos and everything. This is kind of just sneaking a little bit. But Travis Baldree is also one of the creators of my all-time favorite game, which is called Fate. I love that game. I have loved that game since I was like 12 years old. I don't even know. I think, yeah, because like when I was in middle school, my brother and I both had these like Windows XP computers, and they came obviously like, pre-built with games, and one of them was a demo of Fate, and all I could do was go to the 3rd level, but you could explore the levels as much as you could, like as much as you wanted to, basically. Like there was always something new to discover and everything, and I need to start streaming that game again because it's so much fun. But it gives me like a very medieval Renaissance kind of vibe, and that's almost what I get with this. Like I can see the town of Thune. The town of Thune definitely gives you almost a similar vibe to the town of Grove from Fate. So I love this book so much. It was so sweet. And again, this is also a clean book. This does not have any spice in it or anything. Very cozy vibes, definitely very low stakes, so there's not really a lot of death in here. But I just love this book so much. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Contemporary mysteries. I'm just kind of grouping them all together because they're kind of real world stuff. Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This one is just incredible. I partially read this because of Haley Pham, and I bought this whole series literally like in one go. Actually, I bought the actual series. I didn't buy the novella until later, but I read this actually during my 24-hour readathon that I've already uploaded this a couple weeks ago, so I will link that below. I think I uploaded it on the 11th during the 24-hour readathon I did back in October. Love this book. This book was absolutely incredible. The storytelling of this one and the second one were fun because you had like court cases, you had podcasts, you had interviews, like text messages, and a bunch of different types of content in here. It's not just traditional storytelling, and I love that aspect in books. Like, I love when books incorporate different types of storytelling to help move it along. So when you include like text messages and court cases and things like that to help add to the story, I just think it adds an extra element of depth in the story. It's not just like this shallow, like, oh, you're summarizing a story. Like we're actually getting into what happened to Andy. And the third one, I liked the third one, but not as much. And partially because, like, I didn't want to spoil it in that video, but that one has a stalker in it. Like, it's almost like a stalker situation, and just reading about that kind of stuff just makes you very uncomfortable. And that is partially why that book took me much longer to get through than this one and was it Good Girl Bad Blood? I just didn't like the third one, which is As Good as Dead. Did not like that one as much just because of the whole stalker situation. I just felt like, I mean, the third book was necessary for the storyline, but I feel like it could have been done a different way. And also, these are the American covers. I do want to do a reading vlog where I get the UK ones, because I've heard that the UK ones are different. So I'm going to check. Maybe I didn't see any really good copies on Amazon, so I'm going to try Waterstones and see if anybody has any recommendations for where to look for the UK covers of Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Go ahead and let me know down below, because I want to read the UK cover and kind of do a fun video where I compare and contrast the different versions, because while it is technically the same story, it's different. Like, this one takes place in the US. I think it just says Fairview, but I want to say like this is like Northeast, maybe like in New England. I'll put it down here for you guys somewhere. I don't know which side my text goes on. I don't know. I forget. I forget which side my text goes on, but I'll put it down here for you guys, like where the exact setting is, because all it says on the back is Fairview. But I think I would really like to see how the UK version differs from the American one, because I've seen a lot of people talking about the two. And I also really like the covers for that one too. I'm kind of sad that this show, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to watch here in the US, and I really want to watch it because I really want to see how they portray this. If you know, you know. I had to include the Inheritance games in this video. I love this series. I did annotate this a little bit. I didn't go as ham as I could have, but just this book. I still say Avery should have gone with Grayson rather than Jameson. I'm still Team Grayson, 100%. And I think that, besides that, the story was just absolutely incredible. This is, in my opinion, another 6-star series. Honestly, just a lot of things about this book were just so good. Like, this is a mystery, but it's not your typical mystery, in my opinion, because there's a lot of elements, like a lot of puzzles and everything. So this one is about a girl named Avery. She is the main inheritor of a billionaire's fortune, and she has to solve different mysteries about why she was chosen over his 4 grandsons. And a couple of them at first were jealous about it, and then you know, they started kind of warming up to her over time. But just this series was phenomenal. I've read the original trilogy. I have not read The Brothers Hawthorne yet, because The Grandest Game comes out in July, and I'm going to be reading The Brothers Hawthorne closer to that date, because we get more of the brothers in this context, and I need more of the brothers. But I think one of the things that I also really, 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 really love about the series is the short chapters. I am a huge fan of short chapters. I don't like chapters that are more than like 10 to 15 pages. That's my problem with a lot of books. Is like, I love the story and I love the characters, but for me, the ADHD kind of kicks in, and sometimes chapters are too long. And this one, I think the longest chapter is like 10 pages. Some of them are even like a couple paragraphs. So I love that about this. Like, you can think, oh my gosh, you know, a 99 chapter book seems intimidating until you realize that the chapters are like 3 pages long. But I love me a short chapter in here. It helps the story flow, in my opinion, a lot better. It just flows more smoothly and just makes more sense that way for me. So, again, love this book. It's another 6-star read. These ones, I feel like, are definitely ones that I've read more recently than other genres. I mean, then again, I did also read Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Inheritance Games last fall. So that's still like very recent. But the first one of these that I want to talk about is really the only Mary Sheridan book I've actually read, which is Grayson's Vow. And main reason I picked this one up over like Archer's Voice and everything was because I love me a good fake dating trope. But it also did sound very good, but I really, really enjoyed this. The spice was definitely there. And there were parts that I was sobbing. I was sobbing because it's just like, no, they need to be together. They belong together. It's just so cute. But this one follows Kira, who either has to get married or move back in with her abusive father to receive her grandmother's inheritance. And Grayson is a former felon who has to save his family's winery. It's like his goal to save the winery. And the development that these characters go through is insane. I feel like Grayson had a lot more development in this because the fact that he realized the real reason he was left the winery and everything, and he has to go through like a lot of things to be like, okay, at first he didn't want to do it, he only did it for the money, and then the feelings kicked in and the feelings get a little complicated. But this one's really good though. I am almost afraid to read another Mia Sheridan book just because like the way that this one kind of destroyed me. Didn't destroy me as much as the other books may have, but I personally loved this one. When it comes to contemporary, fake dating is my favorite trope. And this is definitely some good fake dating. Got some spice in here, we got some fake dating, we got them falling in love with the fake dating, which I low-key wouldn't mind that in real life. And then the next one, I feel like the sequel is more fake dating than this one. This is Forced Proximity. But we have Chef's Kiss by T.J. Alexander, and this one surprised me. I was hooked from page 1. I was hooked. And the main reason I bought this is because, like, I am also a chef by trade. I mean, technically, like, I kind of do that stuff. But, like, my current job is kind of any and everything in the industry, so it's not really, like, just cooking or just managing or whatever. But, I love reading books about chefs and just, like, different stories and stuff like that. And this one just intrigued me. And I just had to pick it up. I had to see what the buzz was about. But this is about Simone, who is right there. She is a recipe developer at a magazine, and the magazine's kind of in a decline, but then they start making content online, which she's pretty much almost against because she just doesn't know how to use online platforms. And then comes in Ray, her new coworker. They go viral, and unintentionally go viral, so Simone has to work with them. And it is interesting because, like, right before Ray went viral, they came out as non-binary. And so this is a very interesting bisexual, like, non-binary representation. I do really love that. I love just the different types of representation we have in here. I don't read a lot of books about non-binary characters. This one, and then the sequel is Chef's Choice. Chef's Choice is actually a very, very good book. I like the storyline from this one, but I think I like the characters in the second one more. And the second one follows Simone's roommate Luna, who is a transgender woman. And she runs into the grandson of Simone's boss, has to fake date him to impress his grandfather. It's very interesting because we actually learn that Luna's love interest is a bisexual, or is a transgender man as well. So it's very interesting that you have a relationship like that, because I've never really seen that represented in books. So, like, I am, like, clapping for the representation in that, because I actually have a couple friends who are in relationships like that, and it's amazing to see that kind of representation of them, because this TJ Alexander, they did a phenomenal job with the representation in these books. I want to read their new one. I think it comes out in June, I want to say, but they've been posting a ton about it on Instagram, and I'm just obsessed. Like, I'm obsessed with their writing style, absolutely adorable. Just the different things, and just, oh my god, I can't stop gushing about this book because I loved it so much. Another book about two chefs is A Taste of Sage by Yafa S. Santos. And I loved this book, guys. I mean, I've been saying that about all of them. But this one definitely fits in my favorites. I read this actually just a couple months ago. And I absolutely adored this book. I loved Lumi and Julian's relationship. The spice in it is definitely up there. It's got some things that I've definitely thought about wanting to do. The spice in it, though, is just the first, or technically like the second spice scene, I was laughing. Just like the irony of what happened during that scene. I was actually laughing because I was like, "Ooh, that's rough." But this one follows two chefs. You have Lumi and Julian. Lumi is very free-spirited, and she wants to run a restaurant with like a rotating menu and everything, where Julian is very traditional and French in his cooking and has a very set menu, and Lumi ends up not able to keep up with her restaurant, so she has to shut it down, and then she has to work for Julian, and then, you know, the feelings start. And it's also interesting because Lumi also has a gift of being able to sense someone's emotions by how their food tastes. So if I was upset and I baked her cookies, she would know I'm upset. Or if I'm really happy and I make like spaghetti, then she would know that I'm happy. And it's very interesting because one of the things that happens in here is he was making her something, and he asked the reception, like he had to take a phone call, so he asked the receptionist to fill in and kind of, you know, help stir it up. And he was feeling happy and excited. She was very upset and jealous. And the bite that she took of the cheesecake, I think it was a bite that the receptionist did rather than him. So it's a very interesting concept, and I love that. It's just super cute too. I just love it. I love the spice in these books, guys. It's just spice. I'm here for it. And these ones actually have plot and spice. So if you're looking for a spicy book, it's not like overly spicy. I think there's like 4 spicy scenes in that one. And like 3 or 4 in Chef's Kiss and like 3 or 4 in Chef's Choice. So it's not a ton of spice in it, but they do have plot. So if plot is important to your spice, then definitely pick these 3 up because these have both plot and spice. We got the plot, we got the spice. If you want a book that's mostly spice with a little bit of plot, then I would recommend Icebreaker, which did not really make the list, but honorable mention. It's an honorable mention because the spice in that, whoo, buddy, that's good. Some good spice. Okay, now for some non-spicy ones, because YA. We have Of Curses and Kisses by Sandhya Menon. If you also watched my 24-hour readathon vlog from October, you will know that I read and obsessed with the 3rd book in the series, which was Of Dreams and Destiny. And I just loved this series. The series is so cute. It is about an academy in Colorado who educates children of royalty and like different company dynasties. So you have Gray, who is, okay, I can't remember what Gray's title is, but I think he's like a lord, because it says like his lordship, so I'm guessing he's like a lord somewhere in England. And Jaya is a princess. So it is very interesting because like they're royal in this one. And I just wish we had more than 3 books. Sandhya, please write more books in this world because I love this world so much. Please write more books in this world. And what's fun is that it is definitely a typical companion contemporary series where you follow a different couple in every book. This one, the first one, probably was my favorite because it sets you up very nicely. This one is technically considered fantasy and contemporary because to me personally, this reads like a contemporary, so I keep this one with my contemporaries. But you can also say fantasy because there is a magic element to all of this as well. But I overall consider this a contemporary series. But I love it. The books are fairly short. I think they're like 200 to 400 pages a piece. So they're on the shorter side, and they're just so sweet. They're so cute. And then the last contemporary that I want to discuss is Looking for Alaska by John Green. And I read this one about not quite 9 years ago. I read this in 2015. And this one, but this one is an interesting way of telling a story because this like before an accident with Alaska and after. And it's interesting because like you can kind of see like most of the story Okay, you can't really see it on camera because my camera doesn't want to focus. But like, most of the story takes place before the accident. And I just loved this one. This is my favorite John Green book. I literally read this book in like 2 days. Actually, I read most of John Green's books, but this one was definitely my favorite. And yes, I know I'm giving like very vague descriptions about most of these books just because of the fact that I'm kind of doing this on a whim. But honestly, just this book though definitely destroyed me in ways that I did not expect. But honestly, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay. If you know me, you know my reading habits. You know I love vampires. I am a vampire girly. Okay? We're talking like I fell victim to I fell victim to the vampires in fall of 2008 when the Twilight movie came out. And thus, as a result, I kind of have to put Twilight on this list, as cringy as this is. I legitimately enjoyed this series. I think I want to reread it soon because I have not read Midnight Sun. I do own it, but I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the storyline was fun. It definitely was something a little different with vampires, and I really want to go to Forks, Washington to like see the displays, and like I want to go there and see the settings of this book because to be fully honest with you, I love this book. I love the storyline, and this is what got me into vampires. This is what has kind of shaped my reading taste as an adult. So like I read this for the first time when I was 14, and now I am 30 and am still definitely like gushing about this book. I'm like, yes, there are definitely things about this book that make me just be like, why did you put that in here? But then there's other parts that I'm just like, this is it, this is a vibe. And just like the blurb on the back, I'm just like, girl, it's mood. It's mood. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. The third one though, I felt that. But this book right here, single-handedly, but okay, well, technically also Dracula as well, which I probably should put in this list. I just didn't have my copy at the moment. This book definitely got me completely and totally headfirst into vampires. Just love this. And then another book that kind of solidified my love of vampires was Marked by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. Now, the House of Night series is 12 books. I've only read like 7. So what I want to do is really, you know what? I have a ton of books on my unread TBR, but I think I want to reread and annotate this whole series. And to be honest, I wish that we got a series out of this. Like, I wish we had a TV show. I wish that this had been turned into a series, like a TV show. Not a movie series, because a movie would be a little bit hard. But I wish that this got turned into a TV show, because this would have been a really, really good TV show. Like, I think better than Vampire Diaries. And I have read the original Vampire Diaries series, the 4 books. Awakening, Struggle, Fury, Dark, Reunion. Those are the 4 I read in high school. And I loved those. But I think this series would have been so much better to make into a show. But in this series we have Zoe, and she is a fledgling vampire. She has been marked as a fledgling vampire and joins House of Night, a school where she will train to become an adult vampire, if she makes the change. Not everybody who is marked does that. It sucks to begin a new life, especially away from her friends, and on top of that, Zoe's no average fledgling. She has been chosen as special by the vampire goddess Nyx. Zoe discovers she has amazing powers, but along with her powers come bloodlust and an unfortunate ability to imprint her human ex-boyfriend. The drama with the ex-boyfriend is definitely where it needs to be. To add to her stress, she is not the only fledgling at the House of Night with special powers. When she discovers the leader of the Dark Daughters, the school's most elite group, is misusing her goddess-given gifts, Zoe must look deep within herself for the courage to embrace her destiny with little help from new vampire friends. Also, this one, I love this book. Like, guys, the series was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I've only read, like, most of the books in this. I have not read the novellas either. But I really, really, really loved this book. And I wish that they had turned this into a series. Like, it's not too late. It's not too late, networks. Please, make this beautiful series into a series. And don't do what you did with Vampire Academy and try to fit the plotline of 12 books into one season. Because I'm still salty about that, Peacock. Still salty. Still salty. There's a show with the same name as this book series, and I am very sad to know that that's not... When the show first premiered, I was not happy that's not the book series. That is Blue Bloods by Melissa De La Cruz. And what's interesting about this one is that you have your multiple species of vampires, which is smart. Like, I mean, a lot of series do that as well. Like there's different races and like different groups of vampires in this one. And in this series, it's very interesting because you have your red blood vampires and your blue blood vampires. And there was a show, I'm not sure if it's still running. It might be, but I don't know for sure. But CBS had a show called Blue Bloods, and when that show came out, I was like, oh, did they make a show out of this book? No, it's a crime show. It's not bad. It's not a bad crime show. I do like that one sometimes. But why? Why did you make this a series? This is also another one that I feel like would have been a really, really fun series. This one, it's only 7 books. I have read all 7. But I think this would have still been really fun to make into a TV show. And the synopsis of this one is a lot of fun as well. Like, I definitely want to reread this as well because I have 2 of the newer ones that came out, I think. Because, yeah, she's doing a spin-off series of it. And I have the first 2 books in that. I don't know if there's any other ones that are out. I have to look on Goodreads. It says, Skylar Van Allen has never fit in at Duquesne, her prestigious New York City private school. She prefers baggy vintage clothes to the Prada and pearls worn by her classmates. But when she turns 15, Skylar's life changes dramatically. Also, for the longest time, I was mispronouncing her name. Thank you to Hamilton for making me realize how actually to pronounce her name. Thank you, Hamilton. Thank you, Hamilton. That's all I gotta say. The death of a popular schoolmate haunts her in unexpected ways. And strangest of all, Jack Force, the most popular boy in school, is showing sudden interest in her. Once an outcast, Skylar is thrust into Manhattan's most exclusive social circle. Its members are the powerful, wealthy, and, as Skylar soon discovered, unhuman. They are Blue Bloods, an ancient group of vampires, and for centuries they've been invincible. Now something is preying on this elite group, and Skylar wants to find out the truth. But is she the most vulnerable of them all? This book, I really, really loved it. And what's so cool is that you see, like, the marks on her neck right here. They're actually... Can't get the lighting to work properly, but these are actually shiny. Where, like, most of the cover is matte, it's shiny. So that's a really fun one. But I loved that series. Like, I think it was just so much fun. And another one before we get to my top 2 favorites, like, ever, to be fully honest with you. We have Bella Morte by Bella Higgin. This is a newer one. I thought this was just going to be a trilogy. There's 4. It's a quartet. And I'm very excited about it. We don't have release dates for book 4. Book 3 just came out. I haven't read book 3, but I'm about to in a couple weeks, hopefully. But this one is, in my opinion, a definitely more unique take on vampires, because this one follows Rennie, who is a human, and in this world, vampires are basically worshipped as celebrities. Because, like, they're beautiful, they're immortal, and all this fun stuff. So they're basically worshipped like celebrities. They're put into these beautiful big houses, like manors. And every now and then they have groups of humans who apply and get accepted and come in to be just blood donors. They're literally, their only purpose in that house is to give the vampires blood. Like, that's all. They're kept healthy and everything. Like, they're fed and taken care of. Pretty well taken care of. When you think about what they're doing, they're taken care of and everything, but their only job is to supply blood. Like, that's also kind of scary. That it's like, oh my gosh, like, your only job is to give blood. Like, that's a great purpose, but at the same time, it's very interesting. But, Rennie, at first, she does not like vampires the way that her sister did. Her sister applied to be a feeder and got accepted. She went to Bella Morte, which is the house, and she went missing. After a few months of being at this house, she stopped contacting Rennie or her mom. So Rennie applied to follow up to see just what happened to her, to kind of like undercover in a way. So she applies there, gets accepted, she goes, she finds out the truth as to why her sister stopped contacting them. And I'm not going to spoil the reason why. You have to read this book. It's so good. The sequel is Revelations, and the third one is Hunted. And what makes me sad is that I actually bought this right about the time it came out. Didn't even expect it. I picked this up basically on a whim because I just wanted to, because nothing I was reading sounded good. And I wanted something new, so I picked this up. Loved it, read it, adored it. And the second book I have hardcover. The third one doesn't come out in hardcover. The third one is only paperback, but I'm still keeping my hardcover. Alrighty, and now I'm going to talk about my technically two favorite series. I'm including them both, like, separately. But if you know me, you already know which book I'm going to talk about. You already know this. And don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. It is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I just... Rose and Lissa and Dimitri and Christian, I just love them all so much. This book is one of my all-time favorite books ever. My favorite series ever to exist. I love this world. I love the characters. I just love the storytelling and everything. I just love it. There is an age gap romance between Rose and Dimitri, which is something I usually don't go for, but honestly, no, I'm here for this. I'm here for Dimitri. I am here for Dimitri forever. Like, I will forever be Team Dimitri. And I am heartbroken because the movie was bad. I did not like the movie. I thought Rose is pretty, you know, pretty rough. Like, pretty fearless. They made her out to be kind of wimpy and girly. Did not like that aspect of the movie. The show, I had high hopes. I had very, very high hopes for Peacock. And what they did... I don't understand why they thought it was okay. Why? Just please, somebody, please, for the love of everything that is good in the universe. Why would you fit the plot of 6 books, not even 6 thin books, like 6, 300 to 700 page books? Why would you fit the plot of that into a 10 episode series? A 10 1-hour episode series at that. Not even like long episodes, like they're about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Like, why would you fit that much plot into such a short time? Like, yes, you did it, but at the same time, you shouldn't have. Because you had the door right there to go right into Bloodlines, which is the other book I'm talking about right now. Because, like, the ending of Last Sacrifice literally opens up Bloodlines. It's almost like the same scene, you get a direct POV change. And, like, you could have really, really played, like, you could have really taken that and run so fast with it. You could have run so fast with this book. And again with Bloodlines, it's just, this world is so just beautiful and so wonderfully done as well. I mean, granted, it's not a high fantasy, it's not in a, you know, a fully created world. This is taking place in the real world. But just like the way that she does it, it almost feels like it is. And I love the way that Last Sacrifice flows into Bloodlines. Just in my opinion, the execution of that was flawless. And I'd seen some books that have spin-off series that don't flow that smoothly. And main reason we have spin-off is like Vampire Academy is told from Rose's POV. And Bloodlines, the first couple books of Bloodlines is told solely from Sydney's POV, but a couple of them, I think it's the last 3. I think the first 3 are just Sydney. The second 3, I think you also get Adrian's POV, which Adrian's his own hot mess. But I love him. I love Adrian. I really do. And I just can't. I just loved this series. Like, that's really it. That's the tweet. That's it. That's the tweet. I love that world. And it's my favorite literary world. Like, if I could live in any literary world besides Hogwarts, it would definitely be Vampire Academy. Another one, sorry, I went to end the video and then I realized that I only had 28 and I had to remember which, I was going to put 2 ebooks in here too that I read on my iPad and I totally forgot to do that. So, it's been a day. It's been a day, guys. But another one I want to talk about is Until You by Katerina Mora. This one is a brother's best friend, spicy romance. And this one is about Arya and Grayson, but they're both coders, and Grayson runs a successful company, so it's kind of like a billionaire romance in a sense. He runs a very successful software company and is having issues with a code that he just cannot seem to get solved, but Arya solves it in no time. And it turns out that Arya is actually the woman that Grayson has been talking to for a couple of years and has since fallen for, because just like the way that they banter and talk and everything. So he actually hires her to his company and everything. It's so cute. It's a brother's best friend romance, so that's really cute. Like, they grew up together, so Grayson is Arya's brother's best friend, and they've known each other since they were little kids, and she had a crush on him, but like, you know, life happened and it just never worked out for them until then. And it is the first in a series. I have not read any of the other books in that series, but I will be, because they're also on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have a Kindle Unlimited membership, go there, because I think a lot of her books are on there. I'm in her Facebook group now, and it's just like, so many people are gushing about the books. I'm like, I've only read one, but I loved it. I adored that book. It was so cute. And I haven't really talked about a lot of mysteries on here, because I read a lot of mysteries, but I really read like the same type of mystery, so it's like not much difference there. Wow, I can't talk today. But I haven't read the entire series, but I do watch the show a lot, and that is Rizzoli and Isles by Tess Gerritsen. And I love Rizzoli and Isles. I love the show, honestly. I think in that series, Sasha Alexander, who plays medical examiner Maura Isles, is so much better in that series than she ever was in NCIS as Kate. So, yeah. But I love that. I love this series. It's so good. It's a mystery series about Detective Jane Rizzoli and medical examiner Maura Isles. They work with Boston Police Department, and they have to solve like a bunch of murders and a bunch of different cases, and a lot of those are murder mysteries. And one of the ones I remember seeing the most, like I've seen this episode like literally like 3 times, was one actually during the Boston Marathon, and I thought that was very interesting because I'm not sure when that episode came out versus the actual event that happened in Boston back in 2013, but it was just, in my opinion, it was a very well done episode, and it was interesting. My grandma actually got me hooked on it before she passed a couple years ago, and that's kind of also why I really like it a lot, because it's sentimental in a sense, because she always loved like mysteries, so like a lot of Murder, She Wrote, which is another series that I have not read the original Murder, She Wrote series, but there's actually a YA spin-off of that series that I absolutely adore. I read the first one, absolutely loved it. I need to read the second one. It's very high on my TBR. I think I might read that closer to the fall time, because I feel like a lot of mysteries are better during the fall than any other season. So, but I love Rizzoli and Isles. I love the banter between the two. It's just so funny. It is hilarious. They're so funny together. Just like the quick wit, the sass, the sense of humor and everything. Just the smart language and stuff like that. It's just so much fun. So that's definitely like my number 30, I would say. I've not read the entire series, nor have I read the entire series in order, but I think I like it enough to put it there, because it is also one of my favorite TV shows to watch as well. It's kind of a comfort show for me. Alrighty guys, so anyway, those are 30 of my favorite books in honor of me officially turning 30 today. Thank you guys for watching, even if you watched 2 seconds or the entire video, which if you watched the entire video, go ahead and leave me emojis down below, because you are a true champion. Like, go ahead and like leave your little trophy emoji. I wish I could put like little emojis to put one down below, but I cannot, because I edit on my computer, and my computer is a Windows and does not do emojis. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and let me know if you've read any of these books, or what your top few are. You can list me a top 30 or a top 10, top 5 even, or just number 1. You can list any of them, or any books that you've liked either recently or through the years, or anything that makes you feel like nostalgic and stuff like that. I'm sure there are books that I've read over the years that I've forgotten about, because literally I've been reading for 25 years, so it's just a lot. It's a lot. So anyway guys, I will see you guys next Sunday with a new video. It'll be June 2nd. I'm going to be having a reading vlog from January, so I'm doing a backlog of videos, so it's going to take a few weeks for the actual current videos. My Book Net Fest vlog will be up probably in the summer, depending on how quickly I can get the rest of these videos edited. But be on the lookout for that, and also a lot of other fun vlogs and stuff like that coming. I've got another 24-hour readathon. I've got a couple of challenges coming up. I have my quarterly reviews. I'm going to start doing quarterly reviews every quarter, obviously. I'm going to film them at the end of every month. I think I filmed April's. I don't remember if I filmed April's or not, but I'm going to be doing quarterly reviews, so every month I'm filming a wrap-up, but I'm just putting them together because that way it's just a lot less overwhelming for me. But anyway guys, I will see you soon with a new video, and if you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you soon with another one.